Hi guys, you're welcome to today's video and you're welcome back to Big Beauty. So in today's video we're doing like a quick tutorial on concealer. I think I've done I think about two videos before this, or a video before this. We actually we kind of we went through like a simple tutorial on how to apply concealer the old-fashioned way and the new modern way. So in today's video we want to put everything together, as in me, Lola Joseph for Big Beauty, how I apply my concealer. And I hope in today's video you'll be able to find useful information to help you. So I'll take you through just a simple few steps on how to apply concealer. So what is concealer? Concealer really is a makeup product that we use to cover imperfection, from dark circles to redness to blemishes, dark spots and everything. And when it comes to applying concealer, we usually apply it before foundation and after foundation. We apply before foundation to conceal dark circles, dark spots and everything, and after foundation to highlight the face, to brighten the T-zone and highlight the face. And what more, there are types of concealer. We have the cream, we have the matte, and we have the luminous. um within the three category, we have the matte, sorry, we have the full coverage, and we also have the sheer coverage, so medium coverage and full coverage. I hope that's really clear. Yeah, so we have, within the three types, which is the matte, cream and luminous, we have full coverage and we have a medium coverage, which is usually called sheer coverage. So it all depends on how much imperfection you would like to conceal. So I believe that's the only type of concealer that we have. And when it comes to choosing a concealer, what really makes a good concealer? That's the question. What really makes a good concealer? I believe what makes a good concealer is the pigment. It has to be pigmented, it has to be non-cakey and non-comedogenic. It has to have skin-loving ingredient. Skin-loving ingredient is very important, and it has to be very long wearing as well. You have to be able to wear it for a long time without giving up on you, if you know what I mean. So I believe those are the quick qualities that you need to find a good concealer. You can also use your concealer to highlight your brow and also to shape your nose as well. And when it comes to the skin loving ingredients within a good concealer, I believe that it range from hyaluronic acid, mango butter, and so on. All those nourishing ingredients that will protect and hydrate the skin and so on. So those are the examples of a good skin loving ingredient. All right, so when it comes to tools on applying, when it comes to applying your favorite concealer, I believe these are concealer tools. You can either use a concealer brush or you can use your beauty blender. In today's video, we're probably going to be using all, because we do not know where the routine is going to take us. So just make sure you invest in something like this. So there are some smaller size of beauty blender that are very great for taking care of the T-zone area, under eye, the T-zone and so on. So if you want to go for something smaller just to have more control, you can go for it. But I am using my foundation beauty blender, but you can use a beauty blender as part of your concealer routine. And a gorgeous concealer brush. This will be great for blending, while this is great for application. So you can use this to apply in the areas that you want the concealer to go, and use this brush to actually blend. So this one is much more sturdier and much more dense for blending, while this is more like very flat and a little bit dense and a little bit bigger than the eyeshadow brush that we know. So that's the tool. And another point that I forgot to mention, when it comes to finding a good concealer has to be very hydrating. So it does not matter if it's matte, cream or luminous, it has to be very hydrating. You do not want to put on a concealer that will dry your skin. So that's another key info about a good concealer. So let's move on to the next step. All right, so when it comes to applying your concealer, you have to start your routine with a good moisturizer. So this is my moisturizer by Health Only Hydration. I'll be using it as a base to moisturize my face, and also apply your primer and so on. Then we can move on to the next. So that is what I'll be doing in today's video right now. All right, so before we start the concealer routine, we need to take care of our under eye first. So I'm going in with this gorgeous eye cream by Makeup Revolution. It's a vitamin C eye cream, which is very great for brightening the skin. So, and I believe it's something that an under eye will need, especially with the common problem of dark circle. So this will help to brighten the under eye, and also obviously hydrate as well. That's very important. So I just dab around right on under the eye, then I just use the leftover on the lid. And I also forgot to mention, when it comes to finding the right shade for your concealer, it's always good to go a shade, two shades lighter than your normal foundation when it comes to finding a good concealer to brighten the T-zone. And then when it comes to concealing dark spots and so on, go for like probably your exact shade, your exact foundation shade, or you can go for something like this, a color corrector. A color corrector is very, very important in any concealer routine. That will help to correct any redness, any dark spots, dark circles, and so on. And for me, my common problem is dark spots and a little bit of dark circle under the eye, not so much. So I'll just use a simple color corrector like this to correct that before placing my foundation, which is the reason why you apply concealer before foundation. So I'm going to color correct now. So I'm using this color corrector by Elf. I believe it's called Camel color corrector. So just for you to have a quick look. So just a few dots. And I'll also play around my cheeks as well, because I have a little bit of sunburn, dark spot, old spot, and so on. So I'll just use my beauty blender just to blend it in. So just just dab around the area. So you can see all that darkness is well corrected now. So I'll go in on this side as well, just to do the same thing. You can see that's well corrected. I'm doing the same thing to this side as well. And that's it. After this, I can then go ahead and apply my foundation, which I'm going to do off the camera. Then I'll be back after my foundation. All right, so I've applied my foundation, by the way, and then before we move on to the next step, I'd like to define my brow with the concealer as well. So I just want to take you through my simple brow routine, just for you to see how I actually use my concealer to define my brow. So all right, so for my concealer, I'm going in with this gorgeous one by Barry M, and it's called Barry M Fresh Face Perfecting Concealer. It contains hyaluronic acid and everything, and it's 2 shades brighter than my normal foundation. So that you need to pay attention to. So this is my normal foundation shade. So about 2 shades lighter. So that is what you want to pay attention to when it comes to your concealer routine, because you want to use it to highlight the face, which is why your contour, your bronzer, your setting powder and everything, all that, they kind of go hand in hand with any concealer routine. And we're going to be going through that today. So anyway, so to just to define my brow, I'm going to go in with the concealer, which I'm also going to be using very soon to highlight the face, to brighten the T-zone and so on. So let's go in. I love this concealer. It has everything that I need. It has this gorgeous doe foot applicator, which is very important. A good applicator is very important, and it's also very pigmented. I actually spotted it at Superdrug, so I'll link it for you below should you be interested. So anyway, so I'll be using an angle brush in today's tutorial, just to highlight the brow. And that's basically it, just to define the brow a little bit more. You can go on top if you want, but let's leave it without the top. And I'll be doing the same thing to the other eye as well. So using the same angle brush, I'm going in to the other brow. Should we place it on top? I think I want to place it on top. Let's just place it on top. I'll place it on top. I was gonna leave it bare, which you can if you want to, but let me just place it on top. Alright, so now that we've done that, we can then go ahead and use this concealer brush to blend, just to blend out any ash line and everything, just to put everything together. And that's it for the brow. The brow is ready, and let's move on to the next step. All right, so to highlight the face, I'll be going in with the same concealer, and I'm going to be incorporating the modern way and the old-fashioned way. So if you see me juggling between both, that's just because it's who I am. Sometimes, you just have to, makeup is expression of self, so you just have to go with your own flow. Yeah, that's the right word. So I'll be using both. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with the old-fashioned way. You just have to know how to apply it to your own makeup routine. So I'll be going this way. This will be great to shape the nose, so, and also brighten the T-zone like a full bright. And also your color corrector, you can also use it to correct your mouth area, which is usually sometimes very common with darkness. So it can sometimes be a little bit darker than your normal skin tone. So you can also use the color corrector to correct the around the mouth area and then place your foundation. But I don't think I have much of that darkness going on. My major problem has already been concealed. So so now let's blend. So we're going to be using a brush this time around. So the same brush, the same concealer brush that was shown earlier. Like I said in the previous video, we also want to incorporate the lifting effect. So that is the reason why I'm using both the old-fashioned way and the new modern way. So the new modern way gives you like a more lifted look with your overall makeup look, while the old-fashioned way can be a little bit too much and without shape. So if you haven't watched that video, you should go and watch that video along with this one. You will definitely have fun and understand what I'm doing much better. All right, so for the rest of the face, I'll be using my beauty blender, which is the reason why I said I'm dabbing between both. So I'll be using my beauty blender and so on. So let's go. So just take a fresh spot on your beauty blender and then use it to blend. This is a matte concealer, by the way, in case you're wondering. It's a matte concealer, full coverage, and it has skin loving ingredients, hyaluronic acid, which is very great for hydration. It attracts hydration to your skin, and it helps your skin to hold on to moisture as well. So it attracts moisture to your skin and help it to hold on to moisture. So very great for hydration. As you can see, the T-zone is well brightened, and we've also concealed at the same time as well. So we're going to move on to the next step now. And I also forgot, you should also use your concealer to prep your eyelids for your eyeshadow. So I'm going to do it right now. I usually do it during my concealer routine. It's usually whatever is left of my beauty blender, then I just place on top. But let's do it. Let's just do it together in today's video. So I do the same thing to the eyelids as well. You can use the brush as well if you prefer. All right, so the next step would be to place your finishing powder on top of your concealer, just to seal it and to hold it in place. It's called setting the concealer. So I'm using my finishing powder, which is the new modern way, by the way, using a finishing powder to set the concealer. It helps to achieve that flawless under eye concealer routine. So I'm going in with my puff. You need a good puff and also a good finishing powder. So this finishing powder is by 17, which I bought from Boots. It's not so bad, but you know, it can be better. So I'm using this my puff. This puff is very great in helping you to just to hide that the hollowness that we get under the eye. So using like a very good finishing powder and your puff, and you'll be able to achieve that. So let's go. So just go over it with a dabbing motion, yeah, a dabbing motion, and make sure it's well set in. So this is just like a simple setting in order to achieve a flawless under eye and a beautiful concealer look, you know, or shall I say highlighted look. So just use whatever is left on the forehead, on the chin, the nose, and then we can move on to the next step. All right, so the next step would be to bake. So you can either bake if you want to, or you can just simply use a simple setting powder brush like this, just to dab around your setting powder on your T-zone and your forehead, all the highlighted area, everywhere that you've placed the concealer, just dab it on top and then brush it all off, just to set it in place, to mattify the place, and it will delay oil production, it will highlight your face and everything. But because I mean, let me just show you a quick way to actually do that, what I've just told you. This is a simple setting powder. It's a matte setting powder, and I'm dabbing in the setting powder brush. So dab off the excess and then go over this way. So it's just like a slight way to actually set and probably bake if you want to, if you want to call it that way. But I will show you how I bake, which will be much honest. So let's dust off the excess. Then you go this way and dust off the excess, which you can stop at this stage if you want to. And the new modern way always advised to go this way, by the way. All right, so to bake, this is how you go. So you go in with your beauty blender that you used to tidy up the concealer. Just going into your setting powder, a matte setting powder I'm using today. And I'll link it for you below should you be interested to know. It's actually by Makeup Revolution, by the way, the matte setting powder. So this matte setting powder is by Makeup Revolution in Banana Light, and I've just poured a bit inside the this container of an old setting powder. So anyway, so let's bake. I love to bake. I'm not sure about you, but I love to bake. Probably because I have oily skin, so it's very important to me to delay oil production and so on. Then I'll just leave it for like probably about 3 minutes would be too much. Less than a minute, few seconds, just for the powder to suck in any excess oil, and also it will brighten and highlight the face much better. So that's what we're doing now. So just a few seconds, so you do not dry your skin, because setting powder can be that way. They know how to hold concealer in place very well. So anyway, so I think I'm done baking. So let's just dust off the excess. So I'm using the same beauty blender, dusting off the excess, and while doing the same thing, I'm dabbing it in and also placing it right on top of my eyelid, just to prep the eyelid for eyeshadow. It helps the eyeshadow to perform better. They kind of show up more and makes it very long lasting. So always just dab the excess that you have in your brush or in your blender, in your sponge, and just use it to finish it off. And that's the eyelid. All right, so I'm done baking. Everything is in place, well brightened, well highlighted. So, and that's it for setting and everything, and beautiful concealer routine. So anyway, so to finish off, I'm going to finish off with my bronzer. So you can either use it's always bronzer. Usually you use contour to contour your face before placing. I believe that comes before concealer, but I barely use contour. I don't use contour much. I use more of bronzer. So that's just my own honesty. So I'm going in with this bronzer by Pretty Little Thing, and it's in dark. So it's called a Pretty Little Thing bronzing powder, and it's in dark. I believe this is the darkest shade they have. So this is a bronzer brush, by the way. Or shall we call it powder brush? Yeah, I just love it for bronzing because it does not take too much time. You're able to cover much bigger area quicker and finish off it quickly. Anyway, so let's bronze. So going in a circular motion this way, perimeters of your face, down to the neck, and you're going right under the chin, not under the jaw, by the way, not right on top, under the jaw, and whatever is left, you can just finish off the edges. So let's do the other side. So I just want to have I want to create an illusion of a slimmer face. So I'm going to do it this way. And that's it. And we're still doing the simple concealer routine, and I believe it makes more sense just to show you how it actually highlights the face. As you can see, my face is much more highlighted. It's as shape. I'm like I've dropped like a few pounds. I've lost a lot of weight just with the way that I've actually placed the bronzer to finish off the concealer. So it's very important. So I'm going to use it to also shape my nose as well. So to shape my nose, I'm going in with this flat brush using the same bronzer. I'll just do it this way. So just make sure you place it right to the top of the bridge of the nose, just to create an illusion of a smaller nose. Yeah. Then I just use my bronzer brush, that just slight dabbing, and then right at the bottom of the nose, just to create more smaller nose. Yeah. And that's about it. And I believe this is how you highlight your face, you know, using your concealer to you conceal all imperfection, you brighten your T-zone, you've given your face a beautiful, much more shaped, well shaped before the makeup routine, before the application of the concealer. Yeah. And this is how you achieve it. You know, if you want to know how to apply concealer, this is how you apply concealer. Big Beauty way, Big Beauty by Lola Joseph. Yeah. So I believe this is very beginner friendly, and you can't go wrong with it. So please make sure you go through the video of how to apply concealer, the old-fashioned way and the modern way. Then this will make much more sense to you. So, you know, and this is how you apply concealer. All right, so to make full sense of what we've just done, I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup. Then I'll come back and show you how the overall look actually looks like. Yeah, and I'll be right back. All right, so this is the final look using the concealer routine, which I've actually shown you. And I've placed my eyeshadow, my blush, my bronzer, lipstick, and everything on top. And we're ready to party. So this is how your overall makeup will definitely look if you apply your concealer right. And what we've shown you in today's video is just a simple way to apply concealer. So it's very beginner friendly. And if you're already a pro, you know what to do. You know what to do, of course. So this is just a simple way to apply concealer. And I hope today's video is really helpful. So before we move on, just to in conclusion, we've used these 3 tools. We've used these about how many tools? About 4 tools, but let me just go through each. So we've used this brush, the thicker dense concealer brush, to blend and everything, and we've used this angled brush to define the brow with the concealer. But we didn't use the application brush, which is also a concealer brush as well, just because the concealer that we used has already got a doe foot applicator. So I do not need the application brush. But should, in case your concealer comes in a pot or in the form of a pump that you have to pump at the back of your hand in order to catch the concealer, then this brush would definitely come in handy. Just catch it and then apply. So that is why we didn't use this one today. And we've also used this setting powder brush as well, just to set the concealer and everything. So these are all the tools. We also use the beauty blender as well, just to put everything together. So these are all the important tools that you need to pay attention to when it comes to your concealer routine. And with regards to the cream concealer, the matte concealer, and the luminous concealer, just to give you a heads up, matte concealer are very matte in finish. They don't have shine. And this is a matte concealer by Barry Hem, which we've used in today's video. They usually just finish, they dry down matte with no shine. So the light might make it look a bit shiny, but it's actually matte. So let's see if we can cheat the light a little. So this is a matte concealer, very hydrating. So matte but not dry. Yeah, so that's very important when you're opting for a good concealer. Matte but not dry. So that's a matte concealer. And for a luminous concealer are very much shiny. They have this glossy finish. So let's call it glossy, because glossy you'll be thinking something a little bit that draws, if you know what I mean. Do I make sense? A little bit like a slime. You'll be thinking that's a slimy kind of concealer, but no, it has a shine. That's all I can say. Like a sheen, a glassy sheen. Yeah, a glassy sheen. So this one is by NARS, and it's a luminous concealer. So let me just show you how it finishes. So it has a sheen. Even if it shades the light, you can still see the sheen. So it has a sheen. While the this one, which is by NYX, is more like a cream concealer. So it's just cream. So cream always have this somehow like sheen to it, but you know, yeah, let's call it slight sheen, but cream. It's just cream, not sheen. Just because you know the way cream usually finish. So for luminous, which is this one, it has this silky shine, while for cream it's just normal cream shine that you know. So that is cream, and this is matte. So I'll show you the matte again. Anyway, so this is a luminous concealer, and this is matte concealer. So luminous, matte, and this is cream. Yeah, you can see the difference, the variance in finish. Yeah, luminous, a little bit of shine, like a sheen, a soft sheen. Cream, just a cream shine, not really any shine per se. But this is more like a silky shine, while this is more like cream shine. And the matte is just matte, it has no shine at all. So that's how you tell the difference. So the options are all up to you. I prefer the matte just because, you know, mattes are great for concealer. I use matte foundation, so it goes well with my matte foundation and everything. But if you have a dry skin, you definitely have fun with a cream concealer. So cream concealer, cream foundation, you have fun with it. And for luminous look, it's more for like if you're trying to achieve a glassy makeup look, so you can use a luminous foundation along with a luminous concealer. It makes sense that way. So these are all the various types of concealer. And you also need color corrector as well in your concealer routine if you have any flaws to cover, dark spots, for dark circle and everything. These orange color corrector is very great for it, although there are different types. So for this orange, it's great for dark skin tone. If you have dark spots, dark circles and everything, this is great for a dark skin tone person like me. But if you're fair skin, a peachy shade is just enough for dark circles and dark spots and so on to color correct. And the other types of color corrector that I managed to gather is the we also have I believe that it's blue. Let me just make sure. I made notes just to be able to pass the information down to you. Yeah, there is yellow, and the yellow is known to camouflage dullness in any fair to medium skin tones. We also have the peach. Like I said, the peach is for more of a fair skin person. So if you're fairer than me, peach would be great to camouflage dark spots in fair to medium tones. So if you then we have the orange, and the orange is great for to camouflage dark circle in tan to rich skin tones. So we also have the green color corrector. Green color corrector is great to camouflage redness in all skin tones. And we also have the blue color corrector. That is very great when you mix it with your foundation. If your foundation is already got with your foundation or your concealer, if it has too much of a warm undertone, so that will just help it to tone it down a little bit. Yeah, so that is what the blue is for. And go on Google and search different types of color correctors there are. So that's just a quick info. So you need a good color corrector in your concealer routine and everything, and I've shown you how to apply it. And also you need a good eye cream as well. This is applied before placing your concealer on top and before color correcting as well, just because you do not want to dry your under eye. We still have setting powder going on top and everything, so this will help to keep the hydration going, and it's mixed well with your concealer, and the finish is always very beautiful and gorgeous. So you're nourishing your skin while looking gorgeous. So that's it. That's the conclusion of today's video. Anyway, so we've come to the end of today's video. I hope you really enjoyed today's video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. All the makeup products used in today's video are going to be linked for you below. All the makeup products used in creating today's concealer routine are definitely going to be linked for you below. Do not forget to subscribe and be an official Big Beauty member, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye.